What is up? Kevin Hale here, doing another round of shots on this Sunday night, April 12th, 2026. TB, Davo, Drew, and Paul hanging with me tonight. Wishing everyone a good weekend. Hope everyone had a good weekend. And thanks for hanging with us as we wind this Sunday night down, doing some more shots. TB, how are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking, sir. Glad to be here.
Davo, how are you, man?
Doing good. Enjoying the last little bit of Sunday after a busy weekend. Sorry, currently trying to finish up my late dinner, which is spaghetti, while the three dogs are trying their every bit to get the very last bite of it. So
Did you get the sauce out of your white shorts?
Well, we just put the spray and wash on it, so cross your fingers.
I had spaghetti too. That must be the meal of the night.
Great minds think alike, TB.
Drew, three
Yes,
in a
sir.
row. Is this 3 in a row for you?
3 in a row. Happy to be here every time. So
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're
no,
like our adopted child because you are young enough to be my child. Good to see
I love
you.
Drew. Welcome back,
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah.
thank you, TB. Thank you.
And last but not least, Paul is joining us. Paul and his
Yo.
very white voice. Can you
Yo.
sing, Paul?
A little
Try.
bit.
Come on.
No. That's
No.
for special occasions.
If I was starting a barbershop quartet, I would ask Paul to be involved.
Absolutely. That voice.
I was in concert choir in college
See?
and I sang
That's what I'm
Latin,
saying.
So
We
I was
would
a
chew up
bass.
to do. We would chew up to do.
do up.
That's what I'm talking about. We would do some boys to men.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are live streaming on our X, YouTube, Bleed Blue X, and Round of Shots X. Paul, thank you for always letting us infiltrate your page. And let's talk, man. We got some stuff to talk about. Go all people real quick. People following us, watching us, do us a solid. Give us a like on the posts, the YouTube X. Follow us. Follow all the players involved on our panel, our roundtable. They're good guys, contrary to what is out there in the public. I'll vouch for them all. All right, guys. This past Monday night, Michigan became our national champions. Man, I'm gonna bring up the Big Ten later, but I tell you what, guys. Dave, I'll start with you. Well, first of all, that Michigan UConn game. UConn, to their credit, another Final Four, another championship game. Hurley's doing his thing, but this year was Michigan's year. Dave, what would you think of the game?
Thankfully, kept them away from creeping up on us a little bit more. Hell of a game. It's kudos to Michigan. They kind of dominated the whole season. So, just kind of ended it off in the way a lot of people thought it would. So, congratulations.
Yeah, if there's any question about how popular March Madness is, how popular the men's college basketball game is, the viewership, TB, they average 18.3 million viewers, peaked at over 20. What'd you think of the game?
I have to say, still not what Caitlin Clark of West Des Moines, Iowa, was able to do when she was with the women's game. So I have to say that because my wife is from West Des Moines, Iowa. So I'm right in the heart of Big Ten country, and I've heard a lot of trash talking about that. The game itself is like most games, uneventful, right? Like Connecticut made it interesting, but it was kind of early on that you thought Michigan was going to win. That's how most of these games go, right? You look at Super Bowls, you look at World Series. They're not these dramatic, they're kind of mundane games. Like there haven't been a lot of great games, but I tip my hat to Connecticut for making it more competitive than it was. They were 0 of 15, from the 3-point line in the second half. Michigan did what we kind of thought they would do, so tip my hat to them. But living in Big Ten country, been an SEC guy, not great.
Well, Big Ten country when it comes to basketball, football. I'm looking at a graphic. Wrestling, women's champion too. I mean,
look, man, look,
Oh,
like
go ahead.
my wife is an Iowa fan, and she gets to tell me how her men's team made it farther than my men's team, and my men's team was a blue blood.
I can imagine the pillow talk game. Her pillow talk game is probably just. Drew,
it's crazy when we played in bowl games. When Kentucky and Iowa played in bowl games, I'm sitting here, it's not great to be in Big Ten country for an SEC guy.
Drew, what say you? What'd you think of the game?
Yeah, I thought the game was kind of sluggish, but you expect that in the national title game. It's always very, a physical. It's hard to shoot in those football stadiums. I thought UConn did a pretty good job, like game plan wise, of hanging around. They couldn't put enough game pressure on Michigan to like really try to force their way into a win. But I thought Hurley coached a great game. They didn't make enough shots down the stretch, but overall, like Michigan deserved to probably win the Natty. They were one of the best teams all year. We got to see the two heavyweights face off in the Final Four with Arizona and Michigan. Michigan dominated that game. So congrats to Michigan. They deserved it. They clutched up and got the win. So tip your cap.
Tip your cap. Well, Davo's got one. Paul's got a cap. Tip yours, Cap, or Paul, and tell us what you think. Thought.
I thought it was. I agree. It was kind of a boring game. You kind of always felt Michigan was the better team, even when UConn was kind of, they were playing okay. But UConn, it looked forced for UConn. It didn't look like Michigan was like fluid. And then you saw them kind of hit their stride. And then it was like, oh, yeah. And even though UConn kind of kept it close, you always feel like Michigan had that gear just to keep like that arm's length, right? Like, and it's those frustrating games where you feel like you're in the game, but you're really not, right? You could clearly tell that Yaxel was not 100%. I think if he's 100%, they probably roll UConn like by 20. Obviously, the rest of that supporting cast was really good. So hats off to them. They were. I think it's one of the years where I think the best team probably of the whole season did win the national title. Like the best team did win. They really didn't get pushed too much in the tournament either. I mean, they kind of barrel rolled through everything. It did remind you a lot of other elite teams. Apparently my daughter wants to come up here tonight. So
I want her take too. But go ahead.
Yeah, her take is going to be and yeah, so I was in Orlando as a work trip. I was eating wings at Yard House by
Throw that in our face.
By the Orlando Eye, having some smoked old fashions and talking with John from State Line. We're just texting and talking on the phone, so it was a good time. It was if you like basketball, I think it was entertaining. If it was a neutral and you don't necessarily like basketball, I think it wasn't, because I do think it was very fundamentally played very sound. I think the game was called fairly well, and I think the physicality and competitiveness was very high, even though the shots weren't falling. So from someone like myself who watches a lot of basketball, I know you guys do too, right? That was entertaining. I thought that was fun. But if it was a neutral game, you wanted to see like 95-90, right? Like just a gun shoot. But I think it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
A little bit of a grind, but go ahead, Tim.
The thing is about UConn is they run really good offensive sets off of their horns action, right? Like that to me as a basketball fan is like, that's what I'm watching for. It's like, how are you doing? Like it's physical, like Paul said, but how are you getting your guys open? And UConn runs fabulous sets, just fabulous sets off that horn action. And as a basketball head, it really was a great game to watch, to be honest with you. Like, I didn't have a rooting interest, even though I do have a Michigan and UConn jersey, but just watching them run their
like
sets,
we knew you would.
Hey, man, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. My dad told me that. That's a shout out to James N. Brown.
Papa Brown.
Papa Brown told me, like, hey, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But so it was a good game, and as we put a bow on this, like my wife is now into basketball because of the Caitlin Clark effect. So I love it because I'm able to like explain to her, hey, this is a good offensive set. Even though the person doesn't hit the shot, this is a good offensive set based on what the defense is giving. And so, like Paul said, if you're a basketball head, the game was great, right? Because Connecticut would do things and drop into a zone, and Michigan had a counter for that, right? Like if you're a basketball head, that's awesome to watch. Two really high-level coaches be like, oh, you're doing this? I'm going to do that. And to me, as far as championship games go, that was pretty good.
Pretty good. People in the chat, appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Comments, bring it. We'll share. We'll take. What's this? That was Wildcat Corey. Good to see you, brother. Let's not mention one player's name on the space. Just say TS.
I'm going to. FYI.
What is that? What does that mean? Paul?
They don't want you to
I don't
mention
know.
Stokes.
I've played basketball with Wildcat Corey. He's a great dude. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Are you better than him in basketball?
I'm not better than most people in basketball. My thing is, because of my jersey game, I look good. Like people are like, what's your comp? Everybody wants to be Michael Jordan.
Look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
Do you know who I want to be? Is Rick Fox on the Lakers from 2000, 2001. Or
Vanessa Williams, Rick Fox?
Why? Because Rick Fox would be like, here's 10 points, here's 5 assists, 4 rebounds. I'm going home to Miss America. That's all I ever wanted. Like everybody wanted to be like Mike. Like, no, let me just be that dude. So that's who I am.
For your child, Paul. All right. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. What's next? Let's see. Let's go to spring football game. That's this coming Saturday, guys. I tell you what. I mean, we're gonna kind of pivot from this spring game conversation into the recruiting updates, but man, am I right to feel excited? Paul, I'll start with you. Right to feel excited about Kentucky football right now?
I mean, right now, I think our class went to top 15 for the 27 class. There's still a couple guys in the 26 class that you got to look out for. It's real interesting when you look at all the graphics that all these guys are putting out when they're narrowing those schools down, and you see a lot of Kentucky logos on graphics you never saw Kentucky logos on before. They pulled the number 2 quarterback in the nation today. Absolutely massive get, Jake Narwat. He turned down some names, right? Like,
Major.
Iowa, Florida State, some other big, guys like that. Big time guy, has, good pedigree. He's a multi-sport athlete, good size. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's going to put on a lot of weight. I think Kentucky's got like one of the 26 guys that they're sitting there. He's one of the top 5 QBs in that class too. If you look at Oregon, and if you actually went and looked at their roster, they had 6 QBs on their list, and every single guy was a top 10 QB. It was just an absolute plethora of it, and they sell it like, you come in, a guy plays maybe a year or two, and then there's a 3 or 4 way competition, and then 2 guys might leave, one guy's the backup and he's the next guy, right? So you've seen that. But the one thing that Stein does is he puts dudes in the league. I mean, you look at Sadiq. That's a big selling point there. Sadiq is going to be a first round draft pick, probably maybe second round, because he's a tight end. You're talking about Willie's going to be probably maybe the go-to or one of the biggest go-to guys on the team this year. I'm really excited where it's going. And I think a lot of people were happy when he says all the best players want to play for Will Stein. And I think everybody, a little bit was like, hey, oh yeah, that's great. But you're at Kentucky, right? I mean, all the best players sure as hell look like they might want to play for Will Stein, because Kentucky is in the mix for dudes. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I think that class Kentucky gets in 27 is going to be a top 10 class. And I think Kentucky, you're going to see dudes coming here with stars and pedigree and stuff that you've never seen before. This is the biggest QB commitment since Tim Couch.
Oh, nice. Drew, I'll let you jump in with the recruiting updates, but I'm real quick. I mean, obviously Stein's resume speaks for itself. it's kind of cool as a fan, Drew, to have an offensive minded coach. Not just offense. I mean, his 3 years at Oregon were crazy stat wise. But go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, I think just as far as recruiting updates, like they're continuing to push the buttons for a lot of guys. I think this is the time. I mentioned it last week, but this is around the time where the staff, really every staff in the country, is trying to push for commitments. This is kind of that commitment window from here until the beginning of the season. So they're going to try to push to get, I'm sure, plenty of more players committed. Like Paul said, they're on lists that we would have never, ever seen Kentucky on years ago. So I think, not to get into specific names because it's a hard thing in football recruiting. Guys can just pop out of nowhere. But I'm guessing the staff, I'm sure we're not done with football commits anytime soon. There was a big D lineman commit the other day, 4-star guy. It just continues to roll in. The biggest thing for them is continue, while the iron's hot, you have this new coach buzz to continue to pull some guys. Yeah, I think the optimism for the program is really high. Like, I'm excited. I don't know about year one. I think there will be some success. I don't know how much success we're talking, but I think anyways, the position that Stein took over in as a young head coach, like, you want to have success early, but really you're trying to, by about year 3, to like start hopefully knocking on the door to, competing in the SEC. Maybe if you can get lucky or things fall your way, knock on a chance for the college football playoff. Like, that's all we dream of as Kentucky football fans, is one day to just be in that spot. So
year 3, TB, huh? But go ahead, Drew.
No, TB can go ahead.
No, but
jump in, TB, with Will. What's your take on so far with what you're seeing?
It's great to kind of piggyback off what Paul and Drew have said. Is football, because you need so many guys, right? So part of it is, besides the rankings, like, who are you beating out for guys, right? Who else is on the table when these guys pick their hats, right? There's a progression of that, like, and so early on with Stoops, it was like we were getting these 3 stars and they could coach them up. Okay, that's great. But now it's like, okay, you're on the same table as these other programs that have had success. That's the next leap, right? My thing with Will Stein is, what's the identity? Like, what is it that you are going to do that's different from everybody else? Mm-hmm. And I think Will Stein being like, hey, I'm an offensive guy. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put dudes in the league this way. I'm all for it. I'm not into the specifics for recruitment, but I know it's like when a kid's like, it's either Alabama, Georgia, or Kentucky, to me, that's a win. That's moving in the right direction. And I do feel that Will Stein's moving in that direction.
And what TB's saying is, like, even if you miss out on guys in high school with the Georgias, Alabamas, those guys a year from now could be entering the portal, and you already have a great relationship with them. And those guys can be program-changing guys in the future. So even if you lose the recruitment immediately, and they go to a school for a year, doesn't mean that they can't come back. And building those relationships with the players, relationships with the agents, those things are important. So I think Stein's doing a good job of that. And, yeah, we'll just continue to see how it progresses. But, yeah.
For the record, guys, we have to at least stay on 5 minutes past the top of the hour just so that Kyle can come on and we can give him 5 good minutes. Davo, Will Stein, how you feeling?
Wildcat Corey's giving me points only because I cut to the basket. But go ahead, Davo. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. He's not. Is he the official point taker or maker or whatever? What's going on here?
Scorekeeper.
Scorekeeper. Yeah. Davo, tell us how you feeling.
Will Stein said it a couple days ago in his press conference. He said he's not going to beg and plead and get down on his knees for these recruits to come to Kentucky. He said they're going to have to want to come here, and they're going to have to want to come and battle. And, I mean, you're seeing that. And, Drew said, you don't know how they're going to do in year one, which is obviously a mystery to everybody, right? But remember, whenever he came in, Like he literally came in like the day of National Signing Day, and then he was already super far behind on the 27 class. And just to see him pull in two, studs, one on the defensive end and then the number 2 quarterback in the nation. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Like that is super impressive. And then you talk about what he built from the portal for year 1 coming up. He addressed the most important needs. He beefed up the offensive line with some really good players. Our defensive line already had quite a bit of retention coming back. and Anwar Stewart is still the coach. So there's some camaraderie there already. He got the best running back in the portal, right? And I mean, I know wide receivers is just a skill position, right? They're just talented. You're going to get talented wide receivers. They're going to do talented things. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, there's probably some little concern here and there on the back end on the defensive end and secondary. But other than that, like I'm really excited. I mean, honestly, and I fully expect the spring game to be pretty packed as well.
Well, let's go back to that. The spring.
I think you're underselling the defense. They went out and got some big dudes. Plus, they returned like the 2 best defensive ends, like 2 guys that were really good last year.
More corners.
I think our corners are going to be pretty good, actually. Like you look at our secondary, they have a lot more depth. They have a lot of skill. They went out and got some guys that have length. That was the one thing that they looked at, right? Like they looked at length and athleticism. But here's the thing, right? Like that, the front 7, I think, is going to be probably in the upper half of the SEC. And the thing is, too, and the other thing there, one of the is that the safety position is going to have a shit ton of experience, right? Now the corners, there may be some growing pains there, but the safety position with the front 7 can really hide that too, because you're going to see what Stein said is they're talking about, they're going to blitz, right? Like their whole thing is helter skelter, put pressure on. So I think that's going to be good, because this is better than anybody watching Kentucky or anything in the SEC. What's the one thing that kills you? This all game, right? And I think Kentucky's going to be able to stand up to that. But when you mentioned the wide receivers, I think one of the things that's really noticeable is the competitive throws to competitive catches that we're seeing in these videos. Now we saw one video last year, right? Like a throw. I think Gilmore caught it, but you're seeing all these guys making catches. You're seeing like that toe drag back corner end zone. I mean, you've seen 10 or 12 of those catches now. And I mean, that's defended about as good as you're going to defend. And if Kentucky's throwing balls like that, we will have touchdowns and drives and highlights that we have not had in this place in a long time. And I think the biggest thing is like maybe they don't have like the clear cut number 1 dude, but I think they got 5 dudes, and on any given day those 5 can beat you. And I think the guy is going to be Willie.
Feeling good. Now let's what's the with Stein? I don't know this. What is his spring game objective?
Play football.
I think he wants to play football.
I mean, legit. That's actually it's in an
Yeah.
answer. Yeah,
I actually asked him about it at his press conference, and because Oregon runs a complete full game day experience,
right.
And I asked Will Stein if he was going to bring that, and he said absolutely. And he said, you want to know the one way to get better at football? Play more football. So they're going to have full lineup. They're going to do punting. They're going to do all that, actual score, running clock, that kind of thing. They're going to simulate the game. So this isn't going to be one of those blue versus white nonsense where you get a half a point for a deflected pass or a 3 and out, right? Like this is going to be like
he does have some kind of a scoring system too.
No, it's points. It's touchdowns. They count touchdowns is how they do it. They do the actual game. They run clock though. So apparently I think that first half is going to be a full like half like ran, and then like the second half is like running clock, and then there may or something, but like there's going to be a full half, I believe is what he said, of pure football, and then maybe you get other shit mixed in, but like that first half should be just like a game.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Kevin, I think I know what you're referencing. It and the other was on Saturday. He referenced like
it was a press or a post. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was some kind of scrimmage thing that they were doing with offense versus defense, and it was like a stop or a turnover, you get points, and if you hold them to field goal, it was some weird scoring system that they were doing. But
wasn't he doing that for practice though? Wasn't that how they do it in practice?
Do that for the spring game. I think it was just a practice thing.
So they're not doing.
No, I misunderstood. Yeah, I misunderstood what you were asking.
Okay. Well, no. What?
The issue is we need an identity, and what's going to be the Kentucky football identity?
Mm.
Like what's Will Stein going to do? Right? Like we've been through Stoops, and Stoops is like, we're going to limit possessions, we're going to play some good defense, but what is Will Stein going to do?
That we don't know because he's a first-year head coach. Like,
right.
So
I
think
that's the big thing. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
No, I was just going to jump in and say, like, that's the one thing that you could be the biggest football expert or the knower of it all of Kentucky football, and like we really don't know because brand new program. There was a lot of turnover. Or I shouldn't say a lot. There was a good amount of guys that returned, but like we don't know a Will Stein head coached football team. So, maybe we get that in year one and we see it. Maybe it's a year two thing. Like I think the identity that we see now is like, yeah, we want to score points on offense. We want to be aggressive on defense. We want to force turnovers and create havoc, but we don't really know. We got to see the product on the field. We got to see how he's really like as a head coach and the way that the team goes about business. So
it's those game day decisions, right? Like we can talk about coaching them up. We can talk about scheme, but a lot of it boils down to the game day decision. So we'll see when it comes to Will Stein. But I'm excited. Like don't get it twisted. I'm excited that there's a breath of fresh air into the football program.
Well, one thing we do know about Will Stein, right, is he went out and hired a lot of experienced, smart people.
Thank you.
The guy, like I said before, the guy literally went out and hired assistants for the assistants. So I mean, yeah, he will be in charge of putting together game plan, which we all trust because we've seen what his offense does at Oregon, right? But he also, like I said, he has a lot of people who's gonna handle that for him. So go ahead, TB.
Except against Iowa, I have to put that out there. Like their lowest point total, and Indiana's lowest point total was against Iowa. So
Iowa was just a special kind of defense. So luckily, I'm them year in and year out.
I have to put that out there because where I am and my wife. So I have to say,
like I said, I mean, I'm not worried.
How does TB's wife get so much airtime on this show?
Eventually, TB, you're going to bring her on and glow.
Exactly. Let her speak for herself, TB.
She can come on and tell you about my 3 years with Mark Pope. She knows that because I talk to her all the time before I come on to the show.
You know what? Not only does she know about the 3-year thing from TB, the rest of BBN knows about TB's 3-year plan.
Absolutely.
And it's okay. It's all right. All right, let's shift gears. Kentucky men's basketball portal recruiting updates. As a busy week, it's a crazy week. After the national championship game, guys, obviously the portal went full bore. And Drew, I'll start with you. What you got?
Yeah. Well, I think obviously this past weekend, Zoom Diallo was here on a visit. Obviously a top transfer portal guard from Washington. I believe that the visit went pretty well. We saw the photos from Keeneland and all those things. So we'll kind of see how the visit marinates and the decision there. Obviously we got the update. Was it yesterday morning from the Nike Hoop Summit? Tyron Stokes sat down with Kristen Peak and did the interview. So really the first time in months, we got like a clear, real update from Tyron Stokes himself, which was nice to hear and see. And those things, obviously he might be in Lexington now. I know he's coming in tonight, visit tomorrow. Rob Wright, transfer guard from BYU, will be on campus tomorrow as well for a visit. So I think the plan there is they're going to try to, I think this is Kentucky's kind of plan to sort of see if they can lock this thing down with Stokes. I think they're going to push over the next 24 hours to try to get papers signed to lock him down, get him committed, maybe a silent commitment, not publicly. So I think we'll see how that goes. And then I know Paul reported it earlier, or Dylan, that Donnie Freeman will be on campus Tuesday, I believe. So he's a big transfer portal guy as well from Syracuse. Power forward, dynamic power forward, really good player. So I think we're kind of in a wait and see game. I think this sort of recruiting offseason domino sort of sits on the decision from Tyron, or kind of the word that they can get from Tyron of what he's thinking and his plan. And then they'll, I guess, make a decision from there of what they want to do. There's still so many great players in the portal. I don't think they've really missed on anybody that was like a super huge priority for them. And I think that's really kind of it as far as I know. Like, it's just kind of a wait and see game. Tyron will be here tomorrow. Rob Wright will be here tomorrow. Conducted a visit with Zoom, and we'll see how this thing plays out over the next 24, 48 hours. It'll be interesting for sure.
Paul, based on what you know, what is the NIL budget for this upcoming season?
I think it's going to be whatever we can get it. If we can get these 4 guys, they're going to do it. Rob Wright, the staff met with him yesterday in Atlanta. So you're looking at, this is a continuation of kind of a visit that went well. Look, the entire mantra of what was going on with Rob was like, he's going back to BYU, right? And then it switched. And so, there's that, but also, Zoom Diallo is here. But I talked to a source earlier today, and they said that Kentucky's 100% trying to land both. They want Rob Wright, they want Zoom Diallo. Now, whether that happens or not, I think is yet to be seen. There's some, just on the back end, there's some interesting things going on. There's some people who have actually said they're surprised there wasn't a Zoom Diallo commitment today. I don't know, I've not heard that. We haven't, but we have heard that from people that have said that they were surprised it didn't happen. Obviously there's some, nuances between, maybe Rob Wright's decision or Kentucky's decision there. But if they can get Rob Wright, Zoom Diallo, Tyron Stokes, and Donnie Freeman, I think that you're going to see that happen. Now, I know Dylan said Tuesday. Maybe that could switch a little bit potentially as far as the day goes. But the fact that happened, then the coaches pull up with Donnie Freeman on FaceTime to say add that banner, I think is a pretty good indication that he's either really close to coming to Kentucky or like he's definitely visiting, right? Like that, you don't usually do that with that player if you're not going to visit, right? So the fans have been really anxious. I definitely think that there's a plan here. I think that these are the 4 guys. To Drew's point, there's a lot of good players in the portal. Kentucky's reached out to a lot of guys. I think some of it has been some smoke and mirrors to be like, here's the hand over here to show what this hand isn't doing to get caught. I think you're seeing the influence of Keegan in this a lot more compared to what we've seen in the past. And look, if they land Stokes and look, they're going to try and get a commitment from Stokes, right? It might be silent, but he will have signed papers, right? If they pivot, then you're going to see real quick. They're like, I don't think they're going to play games. I think Stokes has an aggressive offer. I don't think Kansas is doing that. Kansas also is kind of pivoting to some other guys a little bit. It makes you really think maybe Stokes really is here. Obviously, he's not going back to Kansas. This is a trip that he's taking. He's not coming alone, by the way, we've heard. So that's also really good news. So look, I know Louisville got some guys today. I'm not as impressed with like the guys Louisville got in terms of like just fit. I don't think I feel like Louisville is getting some dudes that they're talking about that maybe don't fit as well together as what Kentucky might be looking at. And you never know until they play, right? But what they paid for some of those guys, I'm glad we didn't get involved in that because they paid a lot of money for those 2.
How much was what's the rumor out there that they spent for those 2 guys? Wasn't it like in the
7 to 9 million?
Yeah,
for both of them,
God,
which is
Lord.
Insane. And then, if they get the guy from Wisconsin, right, like their budget's going to, they say they have a ton of money, but it is what it is. But we've been very optimistic, in our group chat and with, there's been a lot of negativity. We kept saying like, hold, like, wait. We don't put out everything that we hear just because there's a lot of vetting you have to go through. Like it takes a process, right? And so we're hearing a lot of good things. Dylan's been on Donnie Freeman for months. He was the first to say he's going in the portal, first to say he's visiting. He's been ahead on Donnie Freeman for this whole time. So, I'm excited for what's coming or what could be coming. yeah, let's see what happens. But I think Kentucky, the consensus is Kentucky's in a really good spot with all 4 of those guys. As it stands right now, I don't think it's a Zoom Diallo or Rob Wright. I think it could be one of the others. So if you saw Zoom commit tomorrow, well, Rob's still here. I don't think that means we're not getting Rob, right? So which is a big thing because that could be a dynamic ass backcourt.
Corey is so good to see you, bro.
It's like saying he who shall not be named.
I love Wildcat Corey.
He's the best, man. He's our Louisville guy too. What's this one? Louisville has those Minnesota daycares laundry.
Look,
I'm not sure.
I don't want to defend Louisville or Louisville fans. I grew up a Louisville fan, but people that think that Louisville doesn't care about men's basketball, you're still
crazy.
mistaken.
No,
yeah,
like
they
people that think that Louisville can't drum up money for these guys. Like, come on, guys. Like, don't put me in a position. Don't be in a position to have to defend the University of Louisville because they are a top 10 team of all time. Like, let's stop.
Yeah.
Let's stop the bullshit.
I'm hearing Louisville. Yeah.
Right. Like we got to stop the bullshit. Like Louisville's problem is they're Auburn compared to Alabama. They're Iowa State compared to Iowa, where if you look at their resume on its own, you're like, wow, that's a great team, except they're like 80 miles from probably the most transcendent team in that sport.
The Mecca.
Right? Like Auburn to Alabama. Iowa State has 8 national championships in wrestling. Great. Iowa's got 24, right? My point is we want to think as Kentucky fans, Louisville fans don't care or there's no money in Louisville. I'm from Louisville. I'm telling you, like, don't get it twisted, guys. Don't.
Speaking of wrestling, I have paused my AEW pay-per-view to do this show tonight. So my $40 is on hold right now.
Well,
anyway,
but I will say this to Pope, right? Louisville's made some splashes, as Paul alluded to. What we cannot have happen is Louisville to win the game, whenever November, December.
There's still a measuring stick for us in this state, whether our fan base wants to admit it or not. It's
because they're both on the same trajectory right now.
That's fair too.
And the problem is you can't lose to Louisville twice, because if you check the history, when Louisville beats Kentucky twice, it's a seismic shift because we never lost 3 times. So if Louisville does their thing and wins this season, that's pressure. Like, people think, like, I tweet out about the 3-year rule and people are like, that's not right. Let Louisville win 2 games in a row in men's basketball. Let that happen. The last time it happened, we brought in John Calipari and he brought in John Wall. Like, y'all can be out here like patience and all this kind of stuff. Let Louisville get close to winning 3 games in that series, and then you will see.
Let Louisville make an Elite 8 and we don't.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. Like, you let that happen, it ain't got to be what I put on my whiteboard.
Dave, I hadn't heard from you. What are you feeling with the Cats? The basketball Cats?
As far as where the recruiting class is going?
Yep.
Well, it sounds like he's got probably the biggest visitors he's going to have on campus coming up the next 24 to 48 hours.
I was going to say, this coming week is pretty.
Like I said earlier, like, if he don't lock down 2 or 3 of these, got at least 2 of them while they're here, like, go on ahead and go to U-Haul and go ahead and start packing your boxes. Because, I mean, that's not going to be a great sign. You can't get these big time names like this on campus and not have them walk away without a commitment. I don't give a damn what they got scheduled after Kentucky. Like, you have them at what we still believe to be the Mecca of college basketball. Sign them. Like, don't fuck around with this, because I mean, there's other schools out there who's throwing really stupid money at these players. So sell them on Kentucky while you pay them what they should be paid. At the end
and I'll say this too, like what Dave was saying, like, we need to lock them down. I know me and Paul mentioned, there's a lot of really good players still out there in the portal, but this is the exact thing that happened last year. We were in on our early targets and we missed on them. And then we were late to the party for the second tier guys, missed on some of those guys. And then we had to fall to the third tier guys. We thought it was okay. We're like, oh, Coach Pope did a great job in year one. It'll be just fine. And then we saw what happened. So, like, they need to close these guys down, or we have a chance to be in the same spot that Kentucky was in last year. And I don't want to do that all again. It can work out differently, but I don't like the same formula happening.
Right. I mean, right now with the players, I mean, Noah coming back, no offense, I'm not dazzled. He's
going to be a 10th or 11th guy, but if you look at
his value,
he's
our glorified 3-point shooting contest for the the midnight.
Yeah, well, I'll push back a little bit there, Kevin. Like he had some big games as a freshman. He's got some decent size. He's got some experience. If he could get a little bit more athleticism, he's a guy that if you need to go 10 or 11 deep in a game, you could potentially count on to do something. And I think the pressure hits differently with it. And like, here's the thing. If you're going out to get a guy to be that 10th or 11th guy, it's a harder sell than bringing someone like that back. And so, like, a lot of fans, or not a lot, but some fans were like, kind of shitting on it. I was actually like, good. I'm like, you got to have these guys on the roster. You can't go, hey, we're only 8 deep, and then a bunch of like, and then just like me and Davo as like the 9th and 10th dudes. You
like
don't
what
want
Arkansas
that because
this year. Arkansas was just like
right.
That. When those guys found out of Alabama, they had walk-ons checking in the game.
Correct. So
Paul, I would like to think I can get at least 8 minutes a game. Shit.
I mean, we can get the minutes, but they're going to get a lot of buckets on us. That's the problem. I mean, that's not the issue. All right. Like you see my ass pulling up from the logo so I don't have to get to the 3-point line. Exactly. But like, it's good. Like we need that 9 to 12. You're going to have some guys that have maybe a little bit of experience, or have some potential. Right. You got Hawthorne that it's probably going to play a bigger role. Obviously you got, Noah. I always forget the kid's name. I played basketball with him, LAC. Like he was when he was goofy knee knocking because he was growing so fast.
LAC at Louisville.
No, Lexington Athletic Club.
Not the Louisville Athletic Club.
I've been to LAC too, but you need those guys for like that 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm happy that he came back because it's a lot easier, and we got him cheap too, right? So it's a lot easier to get him to come here than convince another guy and pay him double what he's making isn't a lot, but still it's a good deal for Kentucky.
And it also makes those, you got to keep those Kentucky boy fans happy too as well.
Correct.
And the biggest thing with Trent
hold on. Let me hold that. Say that again, Davo.
It also keeps those. You got to keep those Kentucky boys around, fans happy.
You want a little like thingy that maybe something, maybe nothing. The bed sheet. The bed sheet, like house. Tyron Stokes like the post. Could be something. Could be nothing.
I'm monitoring.
Or monitoring.
But the biggest thing I'll just say about Trent is like what Paul said. Like you got to have those guys. Like. The thing with Trent is like if he can just make his open shots, he becomes a player that can see 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes if he gets hot in a game. Like he's had a lot of really good looks over 2 years, and I know he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but from what we've been told is like he is an elite shooter in practice. If he can just translate that to the game and knock down some shots, he has a clear role. He can do, he's a pretty good rebounder for his size and his athleticism. Like he's actually a pretty decent rebounder. So like he provides value. The biggest thing for Trent is like, can he get to this point in his junior year where like he can knock down the shots in the games at an efficient, consistent level? If he can do that, he has value on the Kentucky roster as a 9th, 10th, 11th guy.
Good takes. That's fair. This will be a telling week for the program, definitely. I have to say this too. Watching the Final Four game or the championship game Monday night, actually last weekend too. I'm watching Connecticut and Michigan play, and I'm like, guys, Kentucky, our current state, our program right now can't even come close to touching those schools, those programs. we are that far off to me, talent wise, just performance wise. I mean, it's this is year 3 coming up, TB.
I mean, how long has Dusty May been at a Michigan team? He took
right?
over
2 years.
And had 8 wins, right?
Yes.
Like,
go ahead.
I understand that people want to have patience because we like the coach, but we're watching Dusty May in year 2 cut down nets. We're watching Ben McCallum at Iowa in year 1 go to an Elite 8 and beat a Florida team that Kentucky did not lead for 1 minute, right?
Todd Golden reminded everyone of that.
Well, like we sat on this show and talked about, well, Florida's tough, and Iowa out rebounded them, and their tallest player was 6'7", right?
Yeah.
So
and Florida's got the tallest player ever on their team.
Right. They got this big front line, but I'm watching Iowa dismantle them because I'm talking to my wife. There you go, my wife.
I know.
And I'm like, hey, Florida's tough. I don't know if Iowa can do it. And she's like, Iowa controlled that game. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Right? Like,
Davo, you getting the scoops over there? What are you doing?
Just doom scrolling and hoping.
Just scrolling.
So my point is, we keep talking about patience, but this is the one era of college basketball where it's like, hey, you really don't need patience. You need money and you'll be able to get guys, right? Like, to me, and I keep saying this and people hate me for it, but it's like, it is the toughest job has been Joe B. Hall being like, hey, Negroes, you can come play, right? Okay. The toughest job was like Rick Pitino being like, hey, I know it's probation. We're not going to be on TV. Come play, right? That's a tougher proposition.
Yeah.
And it's like Coach Cal. Hey, it's been 5 years. We've lost Louisville 2 years in a row. We haven't been to the Sweet 16. Come play. So for me, it's like, for this, it's rolling tender. All right. But my point is, we can be successful in this day and age. That's all I'm saying.
Wait a minute. What's this? We got a DEI hire on this podcast. What?
Is it because I'm black? Look, let me just say,
TB is not the.
Let me just say this.
Well, we got the white folk, we got the black folk, we got the Asian folk, we got all the food groups here tonight.
But look, man, if you're going for DEI hire, that's low hanging fruit. Listen to my takes;
really?
Those are wild enough. You do not need to say I'm a DEI hire, which is crazy.
Maybe they're talking about the Asian guy. Okay, I'm good at math. I'm good at numbers. It's
you
what
have
we
been
do.
offended by everything, sir. What am I offended by? I just said that Joe B. Hall had to be like, "Hey, Negroes can play here." That's a legitimate say.
Thank you.
I gave you my Louisville take. I don't know who this person is, but like, I'm not offended by anything.
Yeah,
I love everybody. I'm married to a white woman. What are you talking about? I love everybody.
We do.
Come on,
we were given Louisville shout outs. I mean, they had a great weekend.
They did a DEI. I've never been called a DEI hire.
You are our
That's
DEI
new.
hire.
My dad was
HR.
DEI
I had to go through HR to clear this hire. Davo and I talked to our HR rep to get you on. There's no issues here. Anyway, and Paul signed off on it because Paul is my dad.
I'm a DEI hire? Wait till I tell my mom. She's gonna be like, "Damn, you a DEI hire? That's amazing."
All right,
hold on. I'm gonna tell my wife, "Hey, baby, I'm a DEI hire. They only like me because I'm a Negro."
I thought I was only going to do 60 minutes because I'm a little under the weather, but I'm going to go until TB tells me to wind it down.
It's fine, man. I'm a DEI.
I know.
That's some awesome.
Oh no! Look at this. There it is. That's what it is. Damn excellent intel.
Come on, man. I'm a DEI hire.
That was pretty.
Yeah, look at this. Paul must have insane intel. He hasn't looked up in 25 minutes. Yeah, Paul, you are doing a podcast. You know that, right?
Sorry, busy.
Sorry.
Man,
Very wise voice. All right.
I'll be changing my Twitter name to
we
DEI
are.
hire.
I know. I gotta clip that. I gotta clip this whole DEI thing. You know what? I'm gonna digress or hold this thought. You know, I want to say, everyone, we've got over 1,200 people watching us, and Paul, you get a lot of credit for that, and I appreciate you, brother. The Sunday night thing, I want everyone watching, hanging with us to help us out. Sunday night, when it comes to Kentucky sports conversation, is Round of Shots. This show is your wind down for the week. It's the last thing on a Sunday night that
I hate to interrupt you, Kevin, but my white wife is here.
Why? You know what? You know, if we're gonna do this right, let's focus on
You always do that shit, and you put yourself up.
Give them my three things about Coach Pope.
Come on. Your Katie, your hair is lighter today.
It's
What's
gray.
up with that? Oh, it's great.
It's great.
It
I'm
looks
old.
amazing, though. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks
Thank you.
good.
That's so sweet.
You got to
That's
embrace
so
the gray.
While you're here, be honest, Katie, whose pillow game talk is best, you or TB's, when it comes to sports?
Mine, obviously.
Clearly.
Obviously. I mean, that's not even a question. I don't even
So
know why you're asking.
you and Big Ten, what is your take? You're seeing the madness that is BBN, that is Kentucky sports. Tell us your
I love
take.
it. I love it. I mean, honestly, I love a passionate fan base. Big Ten is very passionate as well. I think the SEC and the Big Ten is probably the two premier conferences.
I think the SEC is in second place now, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
No,
anyway, I love it. It's great perspective. Yeah. So, but 3 years, that's what I hear in my house a lot. So anyway, thanks for letting me hijack. I'm going to let you guys get back to your thing. I don't want to, I see the comments about how this is cringy. So I don't want to be cringy, but anyway, enjoy.
Don't give a shit about the comments. People.
Well, I mean, yeah, generally I don't, if it were my own show, but the fact that it's his, I'm not trying to hijack it. So anyway, you guys have a good night.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Thanks for having. I don't know. Did she?
I'm just gonna say this real quick because there's been a couple of little remarks. If you're gonna be even remotely close to being racist or saying something stupid like that,
did I miss something? What? Whoa!
There's been some, like name your favorite 5 whites. Okay, fuck off.
I totally
please leave.
Really?
Seriously, leave.
I was just trying to have some fun. I'm sorry, guys.
No. Don't fucking apologize for anything.
You're not the one that commented it.
No, at the end of the day, here's my take. And oh my God, I'm looking at this. Who is this fucking? He's got stone coat. Good God. At the end of the day, this is a hobby.
Oh, don't be nice to him, Kevin. Just tell him.
No. I'm saying this. This is a hobby. I'm going to say and do round of shots the way I want to do. I'm going to have my the people who are on here is who I want to be on here. To me, every Sunday night round of shots might be the last round of shots because we're just gonna do what we want to do. So don't start no. Hopefully that's not what was said. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
And I do love everybody. My point is that every coach that coaches Kentucky has the burden of being the coach of Kentucky, right? Every coach that coaches Kentucky takes over and has work to do, right? I think we undersell how bad the fan base and the program was the last 2 years of Tubby the 2 years of Billy G, right? Like we undersell that. But I've talked to people that were around then. It's like, man, it was bad, right? Talked to Patrick Patterson's mom, right? Like we were gonna not be able to field a team that year until Cal came, right?
Mhm.
So my point is, we have overcome every challenge. This challenge of NIL, we should be able to overcome as well. So there you go.
Paul, look at this take. Wright, Stokes, Freeman with Marino would be a build I'm into, and think it would get Pope back. Oh yeah, all right. You feeling that? What are you thinking, Paul?
I think that we would be a really good team with that that lineup. Really good, top to bottom.
Absolutely.
I run with that. Look, guys, I'm in the middle of Big Ten country. I want Kentucky to be the best. And I think maybe people misinterpret what I'm saying. I want Kentucky to be the best. So
but the reality is that, look, this is the tough pill for BBN to swallow. We're not the best. We haven't been the best in years. I had made the comment about how in this decade, 2020, up until now, that we have not been relevant in the basketball scene. Kyle kind of pushed back, and I okay, yeah. Kentucky, when Kentucky plays on any station, ESPN, whatever, the viewers are there. People are going to watch. It's Kentucky. But as a Kentucky fan, what have we done lately? We haven't. And it's a little sad when I keep seeing how Michigan and UConn are like at this fucking level, and we're not.
And think that, look, this person is like, Pope was put in an unwinnable position. That's the fucking job. Like, we can dance around. It's the 3-point shot. It's this. It's the expanded tournament. Your job is to win games. Your job is not to be down by double digits in 50% of your SEC games. I don't give a damn about what Vanderbilt does or Georgia does. I should not sit down as a Kentucky fan and be like, I hope we don't get blown out. That's the job. That's what Rupp would tell you. That's what Hall would tell you. That's what Eddie Sutton would tell you. That's what Patina would tell you. That's the job.
Mm-hmm.
Independent of what anybody else is doing, the job at Kentucky, and I've got my notepad here, you win 75% of your games. Full stop. And you win a championship, period.
Absolutely.
Stop carrying water because you like the coach, and understand that 5 previous dudes have done that over 85 years of basketball. I'm hoping that we get an off season where we get back to that. I want to do that. I'm a Kentucky fan. I want to win.
We've been so used to winning, but whenever I feel like Kentucky basketball is in second place, we're not even second place now, but we're not even the it's just very frustrating.
So the University of Kentucky played North Carolina in 2009. It was game day at North Carolina, and that was the Tyler Hansbrough team. Okay, take it back a little bit.
Right.
And so what happened was the game day crew went around, talk about North Carolina's championship aspirations. Well, we got Tyler Hansbrough, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, what about Kentucky? And they fucking laughed. That hurt me more than anything else. It hurt me more than losing to St. Peter's. It hurt me more than anything is that the nation was like, Kentucky doesn't matter. I want to fucking matter. I don't think that's a hard ask as a Kentucky fan.
And that's the thing. We get the viewers for our games, but there's just so many teams that have lapped us. Dave-O. I mean, that's where we are right now. How? I mean, I guess the jury is still out.
Says Eddie Sutton is not a good reference. Eddie Sutton made the Elite Eight.
He did.
Every 3-year coach has made the Elite Eight, going back to 1924. We can do this all day if you want.
I know you can. You got the ammo. You got the receipts. You got your paper, yellow paper.
I'm not moaning, groaning. I'm just saying that every coach with 3 years has done this, and pretending like now with some insurmountable odds is like it's defeatist.
Are you getting the scoops there? What's going on? I don't know.
No.
Okay, he's not.
The reality is there is a bunch of teams who have quote unquote passed up where we should be as a program right now. And we all know the reason for that. It started at the top with just not allowing, the athletic department to catch up and be where they need to be as far as, the way they went after recruits and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But now it seems like they finally starting to get their head out of their ass and understand the urgency that it needs to compete, right? And you're seeing that with football, and hopefully you're going to start seeing that with basketball. So,
like Harris says, I'm with it. Are we even a top 10 program since 2020 with the results? No. We're not. We are not.
Made one Sweet 16 and 2 round of 32s. That's it.
We're not.
Now, I think it was the last show last weekend or within the last few weeks. I put the Tyrese Maxey team, the what if with them. That was a potential special team.
Mm-hmm.
I love that team. Love that team. That
biggest thing about it,
guard
though, is
monster. Yeah, but go ahead, Drew.
The biggest thing about it, though, is like what you say. What if? Like, what if that team lost in the first round? Like, I don't think they would have, but we didn't think that the two teams that did lose in the first round were going to lose in the first round either. So,
the Reed Shepherds. And,
What
was that? What's his name again, Jake? What was it? Hit that
Jack
infamous
Polke.
name, Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, what has he done lately?
I'm
hell bent on finding him and getting him on here on a Sunday night.
Troll Kentucky fans.
Let's go down memory lane with him. I mean,
no, that guy took 1% of my soul and my heart out that day when he hit 10 threes.
I mean, honestly, to give him credit, there was some some crazy three. I mean,
the shots he was hitting was incredible.
And yeah, Paul, again, I thank you. We have over 1,400 people watching us. I know how to give props to. And Paul, what are you doing? Are you even listening to me at this point?
Dealing with something. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. You take care of you. All right, Paul, I'm going to switch to a topic that I'm gonna put this out here. I'm gonna throw this out first for TB and Davo, and we're obviously over the 60 minutes, but
we'll gotta wrap it up there.
No, we're gonna roll a little bit, just so that Kyle will come on just in time for us to end the show. Do insiders impact recruiting? Last week when we did the show, I brought up how our fan base, granted it's a small percentage, but unfortunately BBN is so goddamn big that even a small percentage of our fan base is a lot of noise. It's a lot of fucking noise. Right. How our fan base will go at players, on social media, bragging them, threatening them, and bull. For all you BBN motherfuckers out there that do this, this is me talking, not the guys. This is just me. It's such a bitch move to be on your keyboard and you go at these kids. They are kids, and yes, they're getting paid and all that, and there's a percentage of our fan base that feels like they're entitled to go after the kids. Let me remind you, these players are like kind of world-class athletes. They're fucking close to borderline aliens. Say that shit to their face and they will beat the living shit out of you. I would encourage
it's not even that. Can I explain something real quick? I know I've kind of hijacked this, but
no,
I was a fan. I was on Twitter. I was on Facebook, and I got the opportunity. The first basketball game I covered was during the 2014 years, the loss to Arkansas. Okay. that the 2014 team was not very good, right? Like during the regular season. And I covered the game against Arkansas, and I'm like, I'm going to give it to these guys. I'm a fan. I've paid money. I'm giving all this stuff. And then I got 2 feet away from Julius Randle, and what I saw was an 18-year-old trying to figure things out. Right?
Randow is, to me, honestly one of my all-time favorite players.
Right. He doesn't get enough love, right?
Oh,
and so it's like, these are kids. And we could talk about money, and a lot of that's
teenage kids.
And it's kids. And
Yes.
Look, I would go to the games early. I would stay late, and I would see these guys interact with their family, the mothers and dads and sisters and brothers. I'm like, they're just fucking kids. And because we cover ourselves, they're getting money. Before they got money, we were like, well, they get a full scholarship and they're on TV. It makes us feel good to say it's a small percentage. And I get why, as humans, we need to say it's a small percentage that are assholes. It's not a small percentage. I wish we could look around the world and stop saying it's only a small percentage. No, it's more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
My last thing, and I'll shut up for a little bit, is we as the Big Blue Nation think that we love a kid. We've seen bed sheets on these houses around Lexington, and we think that has an impact, right? We think it's positive.
Yep.
It is ridiculous to think there's no negative impact to our negative behavior.
Yep.
We just think if we're like, rah, 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 that's good. But if we're like, boo, we think there's no impact on that. And it absolutely is. So there's me.
Well, in all the comments, I appreciate everyone hanging out. And we're probably going at people, and I'm not trying to call out people. We have the most passionate fan base when it comes to
it makes it feel good to say that.
And let me just say this too.
Go ahead.
We all as fans in the Big Blue Nation, all of these kids are literally living out all of our dreams when we were kids.
BBN lives vicariously through these kids. Thank you.
We all grew up like when I was growing up, I was like, I want to be the next John Wall. I want to be the next Harrison twins. I want to be the next all of those things. And I'm now older than these kids that are playing at Kentucky. And I still wish I could live their dream. Like I always talk about it. Like I grew up playing baseball and football primarily. And because of what Coach Cal did for me as a kid, of the way that Kentucky was, I quit baseball and football just to play basketball, and ended up becoming a pretty good player and having an opportunity to play in college. But that's how much Kentucky basketball, I guess, has an impact on me. And so I'm never, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's so unfair to treat. Again, we talked about it. I think it was last week, or it was my first week on 2 weeks ago. There's one thing about criticizing their play. X player needs to stop turning the ball over. X player needs to shoot the ball better. There's also another thing of just being completely rude and hitting the DMs or hitting the comments and just taking personal shots and the family stuff. And
I don't get that.
And that's my thing, Drew, is if I'm 2 for 10 with 5 turnovers,
they understand it.
That's expected. You're going to talk about. But all we're asking is, please don't send death threats. Please don't tell me I'm a piece of shit. And we conflate the two between passionate fans and jackasses. And for the last 3 weeks, we've had Kentucky fans being like, I can't complain. No, absolutely. If Moreno is not hitting layups, tweet Moreno can't hit layups. But Moreno needs to die. We need to separate that between. That's 2 different things.
Yeah.
And so as fans, we wrap up in this. I should be able to criticize. Absolutely. Your team loses, you should criticize. They get blown up by 35 points. You should be able to boo and say, this is not a good product. But you should not be able to say is Mark Pope needs to die. His family needs it. We need to be able to have 2 different conversations. And we don't, because we wrap it up in how passionate the fan base is. And it's no, some of you guys are assholes.
Yeah, the one fan, I don't know his name. He has a smaller podcast or whatever, but that took that video. Was it March Madness, the round 1 game or SEC tournament, and said like took that shot at Malachi and then called his mom out too? Like that was insane, absolutely insane. And then
I don't have proof of death threats, but what I'm saying is, you all know when you cross a fucking line. Yeah. We're all adults. You know when you cross a line, right? Between criticizing play and making it weirdly personal.
Yeah. Also, the Harris,
you know what you do.
Hey, well, here's a problem too, guys. Or not problem, or the reality. This is the reality. Our fan base, and God love them. I'm not a God, but anyways, there is a percentage of our fan base just feels entitled, that feel like they have to engage in every freaking moment and thing about basketball, football, basketball, because for the record, basketball is still king here. It's still king, but you know what? Will Stein is kind of changing that narrative. But anyways, this is again where as a fan base, it's embarrassing. It's when you just in a lot of it, and this is where I'm not trying to get political here. This is where our mindset is right now as a whole when it comes to the states, is that people feel like they can just spout off anything that they want without any recourse or repercussions. And I'm just so again, let me bring this home. On our show, it is conversation. We're talking about this, and there's good and bad. We just have to keep in mind that, you know, it's a game, but at the same time too, Paul, there's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of moving parts that where we have to figure out, Pope, our program, how we get back to being one of the premier programs in this modern time. What are you thinking, Phil? You're seeing all the comments. There's a lot of and you know what, for people in the chat that are positive, negative, I feel you. That's the passion. This is the passion of our fan base. And but at the same time, too, we just have to.
I don't want to crap on that, right? Like I don't.
Yeah,
I love it.
The thing is that like the number one thing to realize is sports doesn't matter in the grand scheme of life. Like,
it's
we're really excited about this, but it's a
yes,
game, guys.
Yes,
it's a fucking game.
Yeah,
and we're over here calling people like every name in the book, and like then trying to destroy people because you like that something happens. Like, if you don't like something, just go somewhere else. Like, go get your news somewhere else. Follow someone else. Like, it's not that serious. But like Kentucky in the modern age, man, like the biggest thing that like we have to do is just realize like the game has changed, man. Like, it just has. Like, we have to adapt or die. So I mean, it's just what it is, man. I'm just irritated at this point for a lot of reasons on some stuff. And it's frankly not worth my time. Like, I don't care that much.
And Randow, you are just arriving. Good to see you, my brother. How are you?
Same, man. My bad, dude. You know, Sundays are tough for me.
I know.
I told you 7. I'm a little bit late.
I know. You give us a few minutes on a Sunday night, but you do a 4-hour show on a Saturday night.
Hey, we had fun.
Yeah. I know we did. I chimed in. Kyle's my guy. So you're jumping in, and we're going a little over for you, but the talking point right now is well, actually, it was supposed to be the insiders impacting recruiting, but it's not just insiders, because you got all these insiders who do their crystal balls, and that so and so is 90% going to Kentucky, blah blah blah. But we're also talking about our fan base who go at players, and that whole vibe where there's a percentage of our fan base that feel like they have to be involved in every fucking process, everything about Kentucky basketball, football, which are the two. Randow, what's been your take when you see this shit on social media? How the fans or how BBN interacts with players, with what did Jasper, who was, or shit, his dad, was it his dad who
his uncle?
Uncle, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We talked about that a little bit last night. I mean, I think there's a line that gets crossed sometimes, and I guess you can go back in time and look at the stuff, some of the things that got brought up about Jasper and BG, and then JQ and how their family come. I don't know. Like, some people think it's embarrassing. It's a bad look for the player. I guess not being in those shoes, I would understand how it's tough to kind of fight back at some of the fans. If it is family, so it's you would prefer them not do it. I would say the player probably prefers them not do it anyways. They're trying to kind of keep this stuff away, even though they do see it. We saw in some of the Paramount Plus clips that clearly the players are seeing the stuff, right? So they have to be able to, and I think it's the coaching staff, it's the players in the locker room, have to do their jobs and try to silence that noise. All I will say is there's definitely a line that's been crossed for some players, but criticism is fine. Like you are, yes, these are young men, 17 to 24, whatever. They can accept some criticism
with beards and family.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them aren't, but it's like Jasper. He's coming in there, and he's young, and some of this stuff, and it's the new age that's going to happen. Like, everybody's on social media. You get in the locker room, the first thing you do is search your name. It's not the right thing to do, but it's tough to not do when you grew up in that environment. And we all on this space currently, and we have our own spaces where that's what we do, is we get on there and we give feedback and we talk about games, and sometimes that does come with criticism. But there are some hashtags that go out at some of these players, and some just outlandish things that aren't appropriate. So I would like to limit that back. I think the insider thing has kind of been that y'all have talked about it, and it's gone around X and different message boards and whatnot. You just got to be careful about what you put out there. I thought it was interesting. I commented on Polachek's long post where he was like, "Hey, I'm putting out information that I'm being told." He didn't say who's telling him that they don't want it out, but he's putting out information that people don't want out just because there's this like insatiable, like you can't get enough information. And I'm curious, like, who's the one asking for that information to go out? Because the fan base just receives info and then we do something with it. We might ask for updates and whatnot, but like, we're not dictating so much, or we shouldn't be dictating what these big media platforms are doing, right? Appreciate that, man. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I would say that there's some accountability needs to be done with the higher level folks that are actually like running these big media companies, On3, Rivals, and what's getting put out there. All that being said, you just go look at Twitter right now. Currently, I don't know if you guys have seen it. You guys doing a show. Go look at the positive stuff on BBN, right? The sheets hanging up on frat houses, and Tyron Stokes is actually loving that on Instagram, and all these players are doing. Mo Williams is out there on a FaceTime apparently with, I think it was Donnie Freeman, from what was put out there on X. So you see like the positive of this fan base, and really that outweighs the negative. It's just the negative is so much noise that it carries a little bit. But yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, we have the largest fan base in college basketball. We have the best fan base in college basketball. our 10% is just of those like not so great people on X and social media.
But
it's just so much bigger.
Large. Yes.
Right. Our 10% is just bigger. Even your other blue bloods, it's just bigger. Right. So like I said, that noise just carries a little bit more. That's my thoughts on it.
Yep. What's your take though, guys, when it comes to these quote unquote insiders who put their freaking crystal ball and the scope, everything about sports right now, college sports it's changed. It's we're in a whole new environment now where podcasters, people who are probably doing what we're doing, you know, are labeling themselves as analysts, Davo, put out their takes, put out their crystal balls, and you know, the influence. It's like you're this social media, everything about X, all of this is just changed the approach of recruiting, not to mention NIL. But David, when you see this, I mean, what are you thinking, feeling?
Leave them alone.
Yeah.
You know, like they're literally credentialed media. They have a job to do, whether they like it or not. They do have sources.
Fair.
I mean, like you said, we're living in a day and age now where these players can have an offer, make up their mind, go and take a shit and change their mind because they just got a better offer. You know, and I mean, things happen that fast. You know, I firmly believe that we have a lot of good, credible media members out there who get great information. And as I said, the minds are changing so fast. So like, leave them alone. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. You know, yeah, it's okay to get frustrated, right? Because I believe most of the frustration is coming from the fact that, you know, quote unquote, Pope is not able to land these recruits, and you know they're going elsewhere after they get told they're coming to Kentucky. You know, so I mean, just don't hinder so much on somebody literally just trying to do their job.
Now, Drew, Paul, I'm gonna put this out to you all, and this is with much love. You to have the you're in a position to be quote unquote insiders. You know this. You
Well,
guys,
I don't claim that.
well, no, well, all right, fair. From my perspective, Drew, you have a lot of insight on all the recruiting. Paul with Bleed Blue, which you know we're all part of. Where are we at right now with this whole recruiting and portal? I mean, you got bloggers, you got bloggers, video bloggers who just can put out their takes and their narrative and potentially either bring a recruit into the fold or totally blast them away from our program.
Yeah.
Paul, let me start with Paul. Paul,
Okay.
Your network, Bleed Blue, who we are, we're all here for. I mean, here for it. How do you with Bleed Blue navigate these waters?
I mean, it's difficult. I mean, look, there's a lot of screw ups along the way. I mean, you know, we screwed up a lot in the beginning.
Well, in fairness to you, I'm gonna put this out because I get it. People watching, there's a lot of people that are, you know, fans of Paul, support, and then there's people that is it fair to say, Paul, it's very cut. I honestly did not realize and this is me being so fucking naive, is how cutthroat where all these platforms have to be the first one to put the shit out. And you know this, we've seen it. People put shit out where they don't 100% know what the fuck's going on, but everyone is trying to be the first platform to put a narrative, a story, a recruit coming, or whatever. How are
That
we?
was
Go ahead.
That was definitely like the biggest mistake early on, was worrying about being first. Being first was always something that I think, it was trying to make a name for yourself and anything. But I mean, I think there's a misconception, at least of us, like none of us get paid. We don't make any money, like with Bleed Blue. Like,
we need to change that, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Everybody kind of does this for the love of stuff. I mean, look, we've made mistakes. We get things wrong. We get things right. Yeah, I think a lot of people want news, but then like the news comes out. I mean, like, there's viability, right? Like there, right? Like you want news and it comes out and then, we say it. So trying to find a median to say it to where you don't get absolutely crushed or people just want to say stuff is difficult. Like earlier I got, obviously I got a little worked up, but that had nothing to do with honestly anything that was happening in here. It was just something else and just frustrating. But
you don't have to apologize.
I showed you, Kevin. Yeah, I showed you, Kevin, and you can understand why I was very upset. But I look, you make one mistake and all of a sudden, people are saying, taglining you and everything. It's an interesting world because, information is so easily available. It's easy to find. It's easy to get. So it's hard to kind of differentiate that. And I think the one thing for us, at least now, what we try not to do is be first. I mean, if we are, it's great, but it's like, are we right? Can we verify this multiple times? I think we've gotten better at that. But it's hard, man. Like you'll get an agent that'll tell you something and then you'll run with it. And then they were saying it, so you put it out. So it changed on it's real hard to discern. So, yeah, man, like I definitely don't love it. Look, I'm not an insider. I do know some things. I do know some people, but I wouldn't, I don't know the people that like Apollocheck knows or, Jack knows or Dylan knows, like, that's why he's part of it. So, I rely on a lot of those guys now to like kind of tell me stuff too. So it's a difficult world and but it's fun too. Like you get a lot of highs with it. You get a lot of lows. But at the end of the day, I think it's just kind of addicting. It's why we all do it.
It is. And that's why we're here tonight, to shoot the shit and try to figure this out together. Randow, your show last night, I peeked in. What the hell were you all talking about for 4 hours?
Whatever we wanted to, my guy. It was, yeah, we just were, we talked about some recruits coming in. We talked about Pope a little bit. We talked about guys returning. We talked about JMI. And, I had a conversation with an agent who just worked a deal. And I had some questions about, is the JMI deal really a hindrance? And so we went over that and how he navigated those waters and getting the deal done. So that was cool. We discussed that, and then everything else was ran. We talked about the London drag strip. We talked about NASCAR versus the Masters and which one was better.
Oh my God!
There was just it was 3.5 hours of just. By the time I left that show, that's the heavy pour aspect of the happy hour was. I went inside and I was like, the lights hit me. I'm like, my goodness, I was going to, have one more nightcap. Like, nope, I'm just going to go to bed because we had ourselves a time.
Our fan base is amazing. And in knowing you pulled off a 4-hour show, you probably had a fucking ton of people hanging with you last night.
Yeah, it was a good time. It's going to cost me some money because we did a giveaway. We said if we were going to hit 1K live, then we were going to give some stuff away. I think by the time we hung up and I went to bed, it was at 1.5. So there's going to be some heavy pour merch and some State Line Code merch going out here next week.
Well, for the record, if we ever hit 5,000 views on Sunday night, I'll do something special. 5,000. Come on, bring it.
That's out of your pocket, Kevin Hale.
It'll be out of my
It's out of your pocket, baby.
Yeah.
TB, how you
right.
doing, man? I'm sorry. I
Smoke.
jumped in the show to even ask how you were doing. Kevin, not for nothing, but my favorite
I'm
guy
doing
on the
good,
show.
man. I'm in the middle of Big Ten country, and when Iowa State put your team out, and then Iowa Hawkeyes get to the Elite Eight, and you've been telling your neighbor, can I tell you a quick story? My neighbor doesn't speak to me, right? Our mailbox is like a junction mailbox, whatever. Doesn't speak to me. I go to my mailbox. I come back.
It's not
he's got
about
his
the
Iowa State
mailbox.
shirt
It's
on.
probably not the mailbox is why he doesn't speak to you, but
He's got his Iowa State shirt on, and he's like, "Hey, neighbor, how are you?" Because I run around the neighborhood with my Kentucky stuff on, and then he wants to talk. Randow, I'm doing better, but it's tough to be a Kentucky guy in the middle of Big Ten country. So there you go.
You kept your hands off him, though, it sounds like.
Nice segue. Nice
I can't go to
segue.
jail.
No,
I'm too pretty.
all right, guys, real quick. One of my talking, and I'm gonna do this. This was a talking point. I'm gonna try to wrap this show up because we stayed on past 90 or an hour just for Kyle to show up because we love you, Kyle.
Yeah. Appreciate that. It means a lot.
The Big Ten SEC, this is where, obviously, guys, these are the two. I mean, am I wrong to say it's really these two conferences right now? It's
Yes.
Big Ten, SEC, and there's every other conference. I want to say back in January, there was a report that there were SEC and Big Ten were trying to work on a college football format. I mean, obviously, you got these two conferences that are just head and shoulders above everyone else. But as a Kentucky fan, an SEC school, Big Ten has really lapped us right now. TB, you're in that heartland. What is what is happening here? Because NCAA basketball, men's basketball champion, Michigan, women's champion, UCLA, granted, West Coast, still Big Ten.
Yeah.
You got football, Indiana. I mean, to me, I'll say it right now. That's Indiana winning the freaking college football playoff. Just gives a lot of schools the mindset that they can fucking do it too.
Yeah.
You got the Big Ten is just past us. I mean, and when I say us, I mean SEC is us. What's the rhyme and reason for that, TB?
So I was never a big, a lot of guys, a lot of folks like SEC. I was never involved in that until I moved here. And the thing is, okay, the Big Ten's won 3 straight football championships, but the previous 20, SEC won. Like
it don't matter though.
Okay, if you let me bring this point home, my point is a lot of folks are annoyed at the SEC. And my point is if any conference had 7 different teams, 7 win football championships, they'd be doing the same thing. Right? Okay. People try to act like the SEC is doing something different, but count them with me. LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, right? Florida, Tennessee, and I'm probably missing somebody. Like, if any other conference had done that in football, we'd be hearing the same things, right? On my show, Cats Talk Wednesday, you can find it wherever you find your podcast. We talked to Brett, the golf coach at UK, right? And the thing is, if you compete in SEC, that's the goal. Like we focus on men's basketball, women's basketball, and football. But for every other coach, it's like if you compete at the SEC level, you can then compete at the national level. That's where the SEC is. And I don't think it's like that for every other conference until the last few years. The Big Ten has showed up, right? The difference is the SEC was getting by because Joe Smith's car lot could pay recruits, and now Indiana has fucking Mark Cuban, right?
What?
Like we're dealing with thousandaires and billionaires. That's the difference.
Well, it's not just that.
That to me is the
guys.
difference.
TB, it's not just that. This whole notion with conferences, the with schools in conferences. Big Ten went out and just brought in how many West Coast conference or West Coast schools into the Big Ten? Yeah,
4.
3, 4. And we're
we
still
brought in
when
Texas.
I say we,
Like, come on.
What we did is we're still regional. We're
Okay.
SEC. When I say we, SEC is still regional. It's
Right.
South, but the Big Ten went and did their thing, and what they did at first as a fan of college sports is like, what the fuck are they doing bringing all these West Coast schools into the Big Ten? Now I get it.
Yes.
Now I fucking get it. Go ahead.
And that's the thing is, you and a lot of other people are going to talk about NIL and how it doesn't feel the same as it used to when people were playing for, play for a good old PU. And I got to look at conferences that Stanford is in the ACC and Washington is in the same conference as Rutgers, and tell me that that's got no impact on anything. Not to go down that too, but
that's fair.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Wrap it
right.
up, Kevin Hale.
We are wrapping it up.
Real quick to TB's point, the Big Ten has the most Fortune 500 CEO alumni compared to any other conference.
Okay.
So, like, to his point, the money is there. Like, they are dumping a bunch of money into these programs for coaches and players, and it's making a difference. SEC was king because we were recruiting down where they play football a lot. Florida, Texas, Virginia, Georgia, Bama. Well, guess what? That money's bringing those kids from the South to the North.
I got to give a shout out to our
that's
audience.
the point I'm trying to make.
Real quick, guys. We are over right now, 10:43 p.m. Eastern. We are at over 2,000 viewers right now. Paul, thank you. You get a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
And TB, your DEI situation adds to the viewership. Drew, your hair
like
and
Randow was
goatee
saying,
are awesome. Kyle, your
Drew
looks,
is the Justin Timberlake of this.
your
He's the pretty
model
boy.
looks.
Nah, Drew's the good looking one now. He's taking over.
Well,
Yeah, man.
No. I've got a couple family members who are Kyle fans, and you know that.
Shout out.
And then we got Paul's Barry White voice that he said he sung. I need to get you to sing a song, Paul. Come on, man.
I was in concert choir in college, and there's no way I'm doing that. No shot.
And you know what? I'm gonna put this out there real quick. With Bleed Blue Network, we are going to. I'm a Paul guy. I'm going to be hosting a podcast for Bleed Blue Network. It's called Bleed Blue Primetime, and that will be happening soon. So stay tuned for that. So, yeah.
Well, what the fuck do I bring to the table?
I know. Lord, you come on.
Good luck.
You're the
DJ.
You scratched the
Don't start, Kyle. Don't start.
I already got my piece out
You're
there.
the Joey.
All right?
You're,
I said it
you're
last
the
time
Joey
I was on.
Fatone of this group.
That
I've
was
never been a
what,
boy band
Backstreet.
kind of
Or
guy,
no,
Terry,
not
so-
Backstreet. That was NSYNC, right? Who is that? Joey Fatone.
That was NSYNC, baby.
NSYNC.
I don't know.
yeah.
They all run together. I don't know. All
Come on, can we get bye bye bye? Come on, do it, Terry. I know, Drew. You don't know those boy bands from the 90s. You weren't even born in the 90s, were you?
2002.
Fuck off. So, all right. We
Wrap
are
it up,
wrapping
Kevin
it
Hale.
up. We're wrapping it. Paul, your head has been down. You got news? What's going on?
No news. Just
No.
a lot of back and forth on stuff. Sorry.
All right. No, we're good.
He's the Adam
right.
Schefter of the podcast.
Yes. Adam.
I didn't say Dad.
99% less of the brain.
11. All right, guys. We are wrapping. Shit. Ooh, almost 2 hours. All right. It is time for final shots. Drew, you're the young one. You are our token kiddo on the show.
Okay, we saved that one. I thought that was going to go somewhere not great.
No, TB is our token one for different reasons.
Oh, damn. Oh.
Who the fuck put the D? Oh, no, never mind.
I don't know.
Drew, give us your final shot.
Final shot?
Yeah.
My final shot is just good luck to Mark Pope and staff tomorrow. Let's have a great visit with Tyron Stokes and Rob Wright.
There you go.
Let's hopefully lock them up. Let's start making progress, and let's get this basketball program back to being Kentucky basketball.
You spoken like an ambassador. Kyle, you're next. You come on. Final shot.
Yeah, I mean, what you asked me the first question when I jumped on here, I think we focus on the positive sides of the fan base. And, I'll start off with saying I have also had issues with some of the things that are put out by fans or, big media and the back and forth. I thought it definitely hinders Kentucky recruiting. We know other schools negatively recruit against us, and they use some of these things. And we know that kids are on social media. It's going to affect us. But that being said, if you truly just take some time, fix your algorithm, right? Go and intentionally search for the positive sides of BBN. You will see that it is overwhelmingly the majority of our fan base. And it's the folks that we want, the players, we want the coaching staff, we should be looking to engage with because we truly are the most relevant thing in college basketball. We had this conversation last time. We aren't the most successful in the last decade, but when it comes to relevancy, we are still it. Everybody is looking to see what Kentucky is doing. When we don't do well, they dunk on us. And when we are doing well, they're scared of us. So the positive side of the fan base, let's rally here. Let's go. Let's go and do the thing to help Pope get Stokes. I don't know if it really plays for Stokes. I think he's going to make his mind up based on what he's going to make his mind up. There's other things there, but it could play for guys like Rob. It could play guys for like Donnie Freeman. It could play for some of these bigs. I know we had a call with Magoon, and there's other ones that we're chasing out there. Rally around Pope like we did 2 years ago. Tomorrow, I think, is the anniversary of his press conference. Let's do that over the next week. Jeez. Let's do that over the next week and be the positive side of BBN. And then we can stop all this stupid Pope whiff and all this other nonsense and really start looking forward to next season because we know it's a make or break one for him, right? We know it's a make or break season for Pope. So let's start off on the right foot, positive. Let's make college basketball fear us again.
Fear us. There's, from a host perspective, I'm sitting here, guys, looking. We have over 2,100 fucking hundred people watching right now. As a host, I don't want to end this show because we got 20 fucking 100 people. BBN, you guys, insane.
Yeah.
So much love. Appreciate everyone hanging with us on a Sunday night. I think round of shots. This is my final shot, whatever. This is our fan base, and I, as the leader of whatever of round of shots, and TB and Davo are my partners in crime on this, and everyone here is part of round of shots. I get to do a podcast as a hobby on a Sunday night, talking about something that is my thing. Kentucky sports is. I'm an old guy. I'm literally in a few weeks. I'm gonna hit the final number before my birthday, before I hit the magic 60. I'm 59 coming up. I love Kentucky sports. I love everything. Blue is my thing, and I get to do a Sunday night show, winding down, talking about Kentucky sports with these cats. No pun intended. Well, actually, pun intended. Cats. And then TB, you bring the wifey on. It was amazing. So again, this is our fan base is the most passionate, and I get to do this as a hobby, and it's fun. I'm amazed every week when we do our show, guys, where we get a ton of views just to talk sports, and
nobody cares like we do.
Nobody cares like we do. And I
Absolutely.
think a lot of people tune in just to hear Paul's voice.
Nobody does that.
No.
Just you.
No, I'm a fan. Paul, give us your final shot.
I think I'm gonna echo Randow a little bit and just, pump the brakes, watch the process kind of unfold. This time next week we could be all sitting on here talking about how our team stacks up to other great Kentucky teams on paper, at least. Obviously, you got to go win the games, right? If we're on here, we don't have 3-4 commitments next Sunday. Yeah, like there's going to be reason to be worried and stuff, but like we care so much that sometimes we forget where things stand, right? Like the portal was 3 days open, 2 days open, right? Like, guys, I think we got our first portal. What last year was day 4, 5, or 6, something like that, right? So, and it falls way differently this year. So, trust the process. Things feel different this time around. They do feel different now. You got to go and land the guys, right? But look, man, like Pope knows what this season's gonna entails. If we go through another season like this, he knows he loses his dream job, right? Like, and we can criticize and everything, but we don't have to go like. There's been some personal stuff. Like at the end of the day, it's sports. Like, but like, that he cares, and that's the number one thing I think nobody can doubt. Pope is that he does care. And look, by this time next week, I think we're gonna probably be talking about some cool stuff. I don't think you would see maybe like Mo Williams and I think it was Mikkel getting out and doing that, right? Like that's telling. So enjoy the process, trust it, and look, believe it, because like Randow said, like they sure don't want, they don't want to fear us again, because they know that we are a hell of a machine when Kentucky is on the prowl again. And they don't want this 2-year little end, a couple year little streak to end. We land some of these dudes, it might happen.
Well, I can't ignore a comment. What the fuck does this mean? You guys don't have enough money to compete with the University of Illinois.
Is that why we have
okay,
$22
fair?
million roster?
That was their they.
The money's not the issue, by the way. It's
Go ahead. Good.
Playing on the basketball court's been the issue. It's not the money.
Yeah.
And then the comment before that, I responded to them. They said Kentucky can't compete with Illinois. I said Kentucky literally just beat them in the tournament last year. I mean, congrats, they made the Final Four, but damn.
Can I say something about Illinois?
I know, TB, another
Here
Big
comes.
Ten. Go ahead.
No,
Also
I'm
good on
gonna
them.
say
They
one
got Stephon Box. I love that kid's game.
I'm gonna say one thing about the state of Illinois. They call themselves the land of Lincoln, and he was born in Kentucky. So if your state's whole get down is based off a Kentuckian, I'm not here to hear you. Because there's nobody that was born in Illinois that they recognize, like the born in Hodgenville, Kentucky.
You don't even need a final shot, TB. Just end on that one.
If Illinois is so great, why do they hitch their wagon to a boy born in Kentucky?
Oh, good. Honest Abe.
I'm just wondering.
I just try.
Like-
TB, I'm dropping the mic for you here.
So that's my thing. So somebody asked, what is a good year for Mark Pope? He's got to get to the Elite Eight because every 3-year coach does that.
Yep.
But not
Keep
to
going
get
with your final shot, TB.
my final shot is I want to give a shout out to the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference lacrosse defensive player of the week. That is Sarah Brown, my daughter. That is 2 players of the week for this lacrosse season. They are 14-5 and looking for another conference championship. So I'm supporting her. So there you go.
What is this? I'll see you on your podcast. All right,
I think you say because
we'll do it.
Illini doesn't have a podcast because look, they are the cicadas of college sports. We only have to care about Illinois because they pop up every 16 years. They make a lot of noise and then they go away and we forget about them because they made the Final Four in 1989 with Kendall Gill, 05 with Luther Head and those guys, and this year. That's 3 Final Fours. No one has ever sent a text message to say Illinois has won a national championship.
Yeah.
Hey, Davo, that's more than Tennessee, though.
It is. 10:58 on a real
99
quick.
teams have made the Final Four, but Tennessee has not. 99 teams, but Tennessee ain't won.
Davo, my brother.
Yeah, shout out.
Listen, real quick. Hold on. It's 10:58 on a Sunday night, and literally we have almost 2,300 people watching us right now.
Yeah. So shout out to all the haters in the chat. You guys are the absolute example of why Kentucky is and always will be relevant in the college basketball world. So suck on that.
Shout out to the lovers as well. We love y'all for supporting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Support that as well.
Piggyback off everybody else said, just stop being a dickhead fan and enjoy your team, and support your team. Be frustrated, but leave the nonsense to yourself. Text it to yourself. Tweet it to yourself. Leave the players alone. Leave the coaches alone. And also, my final shot is my Feed the Studs hat is scheduled to get here tomorrow. So USPS, actually do your job and get it here tomorrow, so I don't have to sit here and play Russian roulette when it's actually going to show up. So
you can't put.
So you might as well do that. It doesn't matter what John sends me; it never gets. It either doesn't get here, or never on time.
Well, it's in Louisville right now. Knowing them,
Louisville.
it's going to go to Indianapolis and probably Pennsylvania, and then come here.
I have a polo that's living in Indianapolis or in Louisville, by the way, just sitting there. Still is.
I hope we get it by football season at least.
Probably.
And for me being the round of shots guy, and everyone here is part of it's part of round of shots. I can't thank the people watching. I mean, seriously, guys, we are like teetering at 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're almost 2,300 people are tuning in, this is our fan base is crazy, and it's okay.
And now it's time to go to bed.
It's time to go to bed. For TB, for Davo,
Love
for
y'all.
Drew, Paul, Randow, it's good to see you. Thank you for your service and all that good stuff.
Yacht.
Yep. What's your story, real quick, Randow? You coming back on the East Coast, right coast soon?
July. I'll be
Yep.
in Quantico, Virginia.
All right.
So you will see me in Lexington a lot more.
Beautiful place.
Next football season is going to be.
Beautiful.
It's like an 8-hour drive. I'll be there.
I need one of those shirts. Paul, we need some bleed blue shirts too, right?
Have tons of them. We can get a ton of them.
Okay.
Bluegrass-elite.com. Heavy pour 15. Get 15% off.
I gave it to you for free,
For free.
Kevin.
Oh God, no, thank you.
Well, I mean,
Just-
I'm not a
just
part of
kidding.
Bleed Blue, so he got. I mean, he got to pay for his.
I'm just messing with you. I'll
You know
give you
what?
another Bleed Blue shirt, Rando. I'll give you
free
another
free
one.
shipping. Free shipping.
You want to swap? I'll swap with you. You do a shirt swap.
I'm getting
I'll do
ready to
shirts
print
swap.
up some Round of Shots shirts too. We'll share it for everybody. All right. TB, Davo, Drew O, Paulo, Rando O.
And we may have, we should have a special guest on.
Oh,
next week.
you thank
Tease
you.
it. We'll tease it.
How-
We'll tease it.
tease it. Give us a little spoiler alert, Davo.
We
What's
may
going
or
on next
may
week
not, but
for
we
Round
should
of Shots?
have
Good.
a football commit on next week.
Yeah, a football.
Dope.
Not just a football commit, a big time commit.
A big time commit.
So
Emphasis
everyone-
I wonder who
big.
that is.
yeah,
Emphasis
come on,
on
come
big.
back next
Mhm.
Sunday night. Hey, look, Sunday night, guys. Round of Shots is the BBN podcast of the night. Not Matt Jones, not any of the other ones. It's us. Play along. Hang with us.
Love y'all.
Wishing everyone a good night. Good night. Peace out. Love you
See ya.
guys. Go Big Blue.
Yeah,
Bye.
later.
Later.